Shalom, shalom. Kol halalim la Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Akakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom. Shalom to the prophets of that body. Shalom to the 144,000. 144,000 and one third. May peace and blessings be upon you and your households, and the spirit of endurance as we approach the end. Okay. Ezekiel 5:17. So will I send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord, Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, have spoken it. Okay, pursuant to Jeremiah 30, verse 7, which is Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble has already begun, but it's not in full gear yet. It's going to amplify, okay? World War III has already begun. It hasn't amplified to the level where everyone is called into the valley of Jehoshaphat or Yahweh, which is the Most High's judgment. Okay, is getting there. All right, and as we're approaching the end, you can see all the pieces coming together, creating that picture of the demise of this world, of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man's kingdom. Okay, and the heathens that are long connected to them. That are connected to these heathens, these Edomites, they're falling too. Okay, so you got the push of the digital wallet. You got Elon Musk's CHIP. Creating wonders for people. His CHIP is he's pushing his CHIP in America, the UK. All right, and this has all happened in the last several weeks. Okay, and then you got the benefits being cut here in the UK and the States. Okay, some states have opened them up, but from when I made a video yesterday, Oregon, which is 71.7% Edomite, so-called white, they've got their benefits back just for November alone. So people are stocking up, and they're mainly an Edomite state. So that lets you know who Esau is trying to nourish up and give food, so they can maybe build up this strength for the race war, against Jake, right? And then we've seen the C-19 come into fruition over the last, it's been 5 years, right? 5 years, all right? And cases of that are still, as they say, pending, meaning that people have taken the wacky-tacky juice, or the wacky juice, the C-19 juice. They're falling by the wayside. They're falling falling on train tracks. They're passing out. They're having heart attacks. Having all types of illnesses. Youngsters are just, that are healthy, in great shape, so-called fit as a horse, 18, 19 years old, young bucks, young attractive women are just falling, right? So we know this devil, right, is a mad scientist. Okay, they create diseases and they make it look like the norm. You're supposed to get that in your childhood. Okay, I believe measles. I believe one of the elder bishops. One of the elder bishops brought that out. That measles. You know, I don't want to say too much on that because then you're going to have the YouTube police. But measles is not a natural thing. I'll just leave it there. Okay, and what Esau's going to do is amplify these diseases. Okay, like you got a natural bodybuilder. To amplify the natural bodybuilder, you're going to give him juice, steroids, TRT, whatever you're going to give him to really get up another 20%, 25% bigger and stronger, more harder looking, right? In the same way, they're amplifying these diseases, making them more stronger. So any kind of so-called max vaccination, right, won't work. Okay, and so I'm going to play the new segment now. Where is it? Okay, and this is happening in Canada, right, which is basically North America, and it's on the border of Ground Zero, Babylon. So it could pass over, and this is all happening. All these things that I mentioned are happening collectively as we're approaching the end of 2025. So 2026, if it's the Lord's will that we see it, is going to be a very crucial and deadly year. Lord willing, this kingdom falls thick and fast. Let's go.
Officially lost. Canada has officially lost its measles-free status after the deadly outbreak of the disease has swept the country. The outbreak, largely among unvaccinated communities, has already claimed the lives of.
Okay, you heard what she said, in it, right? The outbreak. Excuse me, I'm clearing my throat. She said the outbreak is largely among the unvaccinated. Unvaccinated. Now, what's this going to push even more? People taking, if the government says, oh, you got to line up and take this kind of VAX because this deadly disease has popped up, or this disease is stronger than ever, you better line up by the 21st. Everybody get there 5 o'clock in the morning in your local neighborhoods. We'll set up tents in this location, that location. Okay. And it could be just a prelude uh, to making you more docile, or whatever it'll do, right? People are going to line up, okay, and so they can make the world more docile, delete a whole bunch of people. Because remember, according to the Georgia Guidestones, the powers that be, the so-called white man, okay, and the so-called elites, right, they want to bring the population down by a significant amount. I believe it's 500 million, which is half a billion, right? And which is a controllable amount for them, okay? Which is an amount that they believe that they can control and watch over. So, and the world right now is 9 billion or a little more. And we've got all those souls back here today to receive judgment because Yahushua is returning soon. Okay, 9 billion. I was watching, because I like to watch Cassius Clay, aka Muhammad Ali, his what do you call it, his interviews from back in the day. And when he had an interview here in the UK in the 70s, and he said at that time the population of the world is 4 billion. Okay, and that's like 40, about 50 years ago. Now today it's 9 billion. Okay, so Esau's wants to do a whole bunch of deleting. All right, so be wary. Okay, Revelation 12, verse 12. Let me just go there first. Revelation 12, verse 12, KJV. Salakia for this. When the scripture pops in the mind, I've got to read it. Revelation 12, verse 12. Actually, I'm not going to say Salakia for reading a scripture. I take that back. I'm going to read the scripture, Lord willing. Revelation 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Okay? And the Lord said to be circumspect, because the days are evil. Right? And the Lord also said, pray without ceasing. As old Apostle Rakar would say, keep your medicine strong. You better get them prayers in, Lord willing, And you've got to pray in the name, according to the book of Ecclesiastes, the elect shall call upon the name. Okay? They will call upon the name.
Of two newborns, largely among after the deadly outbreak. Canada has officially lost its measles-free status after the deadly outbreak of the disease has swept the country. The outbreak, largely among unvaccinated communities, has already claimed the lives of two newborns and has also heightened concern about public health vulnerability there. This is a major setback for a country that was declared measles-free way back in 1998. The Pan American Health Organization, the UN's Regional Health Office, confirmed sustained transmission of the virus in Canada for more than a year. Health Canada saying the country no longer meets the threshold to.
Listen to the key words they they use, and listen to the words they use to push a certain narrative. You got to be very careful, okay? It doesn't matter if they've got an accent, if they're from a certain part of the world. All these reporters, to a certain amount, right? Okay, have been told to say certain things. Okay, maybe India or the so-called Middle East, not so much. All right, but everybody has a script to follow, or use certain keywords anyway. Okay, to push an agenda.
Halt measles spread. In fact, since October 2024, the outbreak has primarily affected under-vaccinated groups, including certain Mennonite Christian communities who refuse vaccine for religious reasons, reportedly, provinces of Ontario.
Okay, so it's mainly affecting people that haven't been vaccinated in many Christian communities. Okay, so basically they're going to try and push this. They're going to say, okay, you people that are so-called religious, that are Bible thumpers, are the ones that are causing the outbreak. So they're going to they want to turn the local communities or the people that are not Bible thumpers, which is pretty much every the rest of the world, against the people that read the scriptures, that believe, that believe in that believe in the Most High and His Son, right? Okay, so they're gonna push against Bible thumpers, all right? Which some of them are Jake, okay, Israelite foreigners. Some are Jake, visible Jake, Some are heathens, in these crazy churches and all that, okay. And so they're gonna come against. This is gonna create a further uh, divide, even further, between your so-called regular folk and those that um, believe in Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Okay, and obviously this is all done to come against the men of the Lord. Okay, against the Israelites, not against you crazy Christians that believe in Jebus and the Edomite Jebus and Serapis Christus and all that. All right.
Ontario, Alberta, have been seen for related groups. In fact, since October 2024, the outbreak has primarily affected under-vaccinated groups, including certain Mennonite Christian communities who refuse vaccine for religious reasons, reportedly, provinces of Ontario, Alberta.
There could be forced vaccinations in the future. We don't know. Okay. Ultimately, to either delete you or make you more docile, so you will take the charagma, Revelation 13:16, when that time comes. Okay. Everything is going digital, damn near. It pretty much is digital. Paperless, right? Bills are paperless. Everything's online. All right. Everybody's just swiping, tapping. Not swiping. Everyone taps these days. I took it back a bit. Went back to the 80s. They're swiping. Was it 90s? Swiping, yeah. It's just tapping these days. Everyone's doing tap, 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 you know? So it's going, digital wallet, to make you more docile so you can take it. Because the powers that be know that there's going to be a huge, huge, huge amount of, what's the word? As I say, there's going to be a huge, huge amount of people or large amount of people that are against taking a CHIP into their body or any kind of technology into themselves. They don't want to be penetrated. Okay. Because even people that are not, even heathens and people that are not in the truth, right? Okay. Heathens and Israelites that are not in the truth, right? That into that wacky tacky Christianity nonsense, or they even know that the mark of the BEAST is the charagma, okay, the CHIP.
Have been hit for religious reasons, reportedly, including certain Mennonite Christian communities who refuse vaccine for religious reasons, reportedly. Provinces of Ontario, Alberta, have been hit the hardest, with over 5,000 cases reported so far this year itself. Tragically, 2 newborns born to unvaccinated mothers have lost their lives. Experts saying Canada lost its state.
Okay, so they're going to push it with mothers as well. Okay, all mothers. Oh, I don't want to lose my baby. I don't want to lose my baby. You know how mothers can get. It's emotions. It's your child. You love your child, and women that are pregnant right now will get scared, saying, "Oh shit, I don't want to lose my baby. I better line up and get myself. They better take the VAX and whatever VAX that the government push between now, from now on, I am going to line up and take it because I want to be okay. I want my children to be okay. And sometimes the love of your children and those emotions sometimes overwhelm common sense as well. Sometimes people forget that the government lie. Okay.
Status because 2-dose vaccination coverage fell below the 95% mark needed to prevent sustained transmission. Pediatricians stressing that the outbreak is not confined to any single community, noting infections among new immigrants who missed vaccinations due to limited access to family doctors. Measles.
There you go. Now they're going to put some emphasis on so-called new immigrants. Now that's going to go in the so-called white man's head, the Edomite's head, that are immigrants and damn selves because they don't belong in Canada. Okay, it's Native American land, or the tribe of Gad. Okay, Indian land. Okay, they're going to say, oh yeah, 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 you people that are coming over, you foreigners, it's because of you. The disease is getting amplified. So it's basically a race war. Okay, hatred for the newcomers, hatred for people that don't have American or Canadian or European or British accents. For example, foreigners that come over here in the UK, foreigners that come in Canada, foreigners that come in America, right?
This is a highly contagious virus that spreads through droplets from coughing, sneezing, or even breathing. It can cause fever, rash, respiratory symptoms in severe.
Aren't these the same sort of symptoms when they had the C19 thing? Coughing, wheezing, sneezing, respiratory situations, heart palpitations, right? Now they're going to give it a different name, and then they're going to say line up for the VAX again. Scripture comes to mind. 1 second. Physicians of no value, King James Version. Job 13 verse 4. And I mentioned through the Spirit that the government never told the truth. Okay, when have they ever told the truth? Okay, they always give you a bit of truth, and they add some extra. Then they expand that. Then they add their lies into it as well. Because they want to push a certain narrative: problem, reaction, solution, Hegelian dialectic. Okay, it's all scripted. Job 13 verse 4. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. Okay. They're not physicians, they're doctors. And what does doctor mean? Okay, back in the 80s and 90s when we were children, right? Especially in the 80s when we were children, we used to say a term, slang in the school playgrounds. Oh yeah. He doctored it. He doctored it. If you wanted to like a fake ID or a fake license or some kind of fake card, whatever, right? Yeah, my brother will doctor it for you, or my cousin will doctor it for you, which basically means put together or make up, falsify. Okay, so doctors falsify. They're not physicians to heal you, right?
Cases breathing. It can cause virus, access to family infections among.
Now listen to the symptoms again.
New immigrants who missed vaccinations due to limited access to family doctors. Measles is a highly contagious virus that spreads through droplets from coughing, sneezing, or even breathing. It can cause fever, rash, respiratory symptoms, in severe cases, pneumonia, brain inflammation, or death. Canada is now the only country in the Americas to lose that measles free status. Though the warning is that other countries, including the US, are experiencing active transmission. In 2025, the United States faced its worst outbreak in over 30 years, with more than 1,600 confirmed cases. Health experts warning more than 1.5 the United States, the US, are experiencing active transmission. In other countries, including the US, are experiencing active transmission. That other countries, including the US, are experiencing active transmission.
Okay, active transmission in the US. Okay, now listen to what she's going to say next.
In 2025, the United States faced its worst outbreak in over 30 years, with more than 1,600 confirmed cases. Health with more than 1.5, the United States faced its worst outbreak in over 30 years, with more than 1,600 confirmed cases. Health experts warning that growing vaccine resistance fueled by misinformation continued to put populations at risk. To stay up to speed with the latest.
Okay, so basically she's saying that people pushing misinformation are putting people at risk. So basically all the anti-vaxxers and all the people that are so-called, what they would call conspiracy theorists and all that, or people that have these conspiracy theory channels, which is basically a conspiracy fact. Okay, so what they're saying in not so many words is don't believe the people. Line up and take the VAX. Okay, if you want to protect yourself in not so many words. Okay, so they're pushing the agenda of what the powers that be wants. All right, and get one more last scripture. The days are evil, King James Version. Yeah, that's the one. Sometimes I just got to use a certain word to get the scripture up because I don't know the chapter or verse or the book sometimes. Sometimes they do. Ephesians 5:16. Redeeming the time because the days are evil. Verse 17. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai is. Verse 18. And be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit. All right? Because we're in a time where you can't get too nice all the time either, man. You got to stay sober. Doesn't mean a man can't get nice. But I'm just saying, we're in very serious times. Like Elder Apostle Gabar says, there's going to be a time where you're going to sleep in your clothes. You might have to have a pair of sneakers or footwear that you have in the house. Jake got numerous sneakers and footwears and Timbs and all that. But have a pair that's easy that you can slide onto your feet straight away. Okay, maybe a tracksuit top and bottom. A jumpsuit or something, or maybe a quick pair of jeans, a bomber jacket, and a t-shirt. Because keep a rucksack near you ready with a Bible and a bottle of water in it, maybe some wet wipes, or something like that. Elder Apostle Gabar didn't say all that. What I'm saying about the wet wipes and the clothing and all that. He basically said, the elder said that you might have to sleep in your clothes because you might have to make a run for it, or the powers that be might send their troops in or whatever to come and arrest you, right? Okay, because they know even if people don't show their face on camera or whatever, they know what you're doing. You telling me they don't know? They know who you are. They know all these things because we've all experienced something weird. And how much more our apostles and elders, man, and our prophets are in the front lines, who've been teaching us for 40 plus years. You know what I mean? So we're in some serious times, man. All right. So, do I want to leave it there? I think I'll leave it there. All right. There's some other information. Okay, that's NHS. Okay, I think I'll leave it there. All right. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, Mawatha Bad Babal, Kwam Yashra. Shalom. All right. Shalom to the elect.